explain a little thought I've been having lately. You know what I mean? And, like with all drama, today, we are going to discuss, like soy through an hourglass, these are the days of our live streams. Like soy through an hourglass, days of our live streams. La da da di da. We don't do drama, is what we tell our friends. Shoobity bobby doo. But in reality, that's all our streams are, is drama. Like soy through an hourglass, the days of our live stream. I'm so dumb.
Gonna tell a bunch of lies that are full of all of them.
All right. Welcome to Days of Our Live Streams, where we're going to talk about the petty, insignificant, stupid drama that's going on out there, and actually reduce the drama with opinion, response, and commentary to where the logic and criticism remains. Ironically, I was just sitting there thinking today. I saw that Lorianne was on LB's channel, and I saw the titles of some of LB's previous videos, and it turns out she's trying to tell the story about how Katie is a liar, which she is. Katie is a liar. Katie is all of these things. It's a web of lies involving Katie. And the only thing I can think when that happens is what happened back in December of 2019 and how off balance it is, right? In order to think about, like, remember when we debunked an email, we debunked a strike. We saw that people were framing somebody with one. And now, because certain people are hated and other people are not, due to celebrity intervention and other types of dramas, it just seems unjust and unfair that that narrative exists. But that's what YouTube is. YouTube is a string of narratives, lies, manipulations, and bullshit. That is, if you do not follow evidence and instead let yourself be led and you follow what people tell you, then, of course, you're just going to get led down the path to being lied to and manipulated. You're going to be believing in a theory, in a alternate thing that's not the truth. And it's a world that you generate using other people to keep you in a comfortable place. Because if you get to be the creator of the truth, if you create your own reality, well, it can always be the most comfortable thing. It can always be the thing you want it to be. And that's exactly what's going on over on last night's stream with Team Skeptic. Though this isn't some type of, most people will try to take what I say, and regardless whether it's true or not, they'll act like there's an intent. Right? They'll say that I'm calling out somebody because there's an intent behind it. And even if what I'm saying when I do it is absolutely true, 100% fucking true, it's a representation of the logic that follows from the video clips and the other evidence that's there, regardless of what the truth is. If they inject a narrative, if they inject an intent other than to give a response or commentary to what actually happened, if they try to morph that into an intent behind it, then they can try to distract away from the reality of things that are going on and instead focus people on that lie of intent, right? Because there's only one way to know what the intent is for why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that is to compare what I'm giving you to the evidence that's there. And if the evidence that's there backs up what I'm giving you, well, the only intent that could be there then is that I'm just trying to give commentary based on what really happened instead of trusting what people say and leading from that. What do I mean? Why am I even saying this? And of course, it's not a hit towards team. I don't have an intent. There is no negative thing. There's no high school drama behind why I'm commentating on what happened yesterday. I'm commentating on what happened yesterday because it's part of the story. It's part of the documentation of Team being somebody who's actually close to these guys that have created an echo chamber. It's a study in conspiracy theories, just like I've done since I've been on YouTube, and the effect, the community effect and the individual effect that conspiracy theories have. If you really do pay attention to what I do and you see through all of the, skits and the comedy and the other stuff, what you get is an actual, well-thought commentary on these strange situations. It's one of the strangest situations to see a group of people like them be able or have a desire or waste their time to create an echo chamber like that. Though now that we've been at the end of the story, we've seen the truth of what's there. We know why that echo chamber exists. We know why they can't accept criticism. We know why they must attack anyone who starts to look deep into their interactions, because they at least know that if somebody's going to criticize them, and they're going to criticize them on these type of surface level things that are going on, what are those same people, those criticizers, going to do when they discover what's going on with the fundraisers? when they discover what's going on with the lies that are being told, the echo chamber that's being built, so they can deflect the criticism and keep those inside the echo chamber uncriticizable. That's why you build an echo chamber, y'all. It's not for no reason. It's so that you can hide inside of it and use the fake fucking lies and bullshit to ricochet criticism off of the echo chamber, so that those that you lock inside of the echo chamber with you only hear one thing. What do they hear? The leader's voice. The leader's voice. The one guy who's allowed, the one narrative that's allowed inside that echo chamber. The people inside of it, when that leader speaks out into the echo chamber, those that inside the echo chamber not only hear it, but they ricochet it back. They echo it back. So that's the echo chamber. It's a real thing. It is the social interaction and the social protection that's given due to the fact that a group of people have been conditioned to listen to the narratives been given from one or a small group of people and chirp those narratives back. The reason it's an echo chamber is it's not a big glass thing that's built around them. It is the fact that once the group of people that are in the echo chamber with them are conditioned properly, then when criticism is given, when evidence is given, when recordings are given, when court cases are given, and that goes in towards those people, so they would normally process that as evidence in their mind and determine criticism in response from it. Instead, all of those things are bounced off of their minds. And what ends up coming out? The narrative that the leader gave them from the beginning. I mean, if you think about it, wouldn't it be a valuable thing for anyone to have who is doing something fucked up like that, right? It's valuable. It's valuable. Once you lay the groundwork into the minds of suggestible people and successfully build them to the cult level, to where this echo chamber is now functioning, what happens if you show hard evidence that they've stole $10,000 from their community? The echo chamber gets smaller. Every time people start to think for themselves inside the echo chamber gets tighter and smaller because they start to walk out of it and there's less people there. We've been seeing that happen for months. And last night, inside the echo chamber, somebody stood up and said, "You're being conned. You're being lied to. Reds and Sean have ripped you off." What that did was start to push people outside the echo chamber and made them start to think for themselves. So what did the people do? Well, they admitted it. Reds and Sean called up Prodoxins and said, "Get the fuck in there in that live chat and start talking some shit, and then get up on that screen and start doing damage control for us." And of course, like the little bitch he is, he just ran. He said he was woken up and sent to the stream. He admitted it. They were so affected by somebody in... The fuck? Is that Harley? It's probably Gus. They're so affected by somebody in their echo chamber standing up and telling those people, you know, you don't have to be believing in a conspiracy theory to have the echo chambers and the narratives and the lies and the cult-like behavior that has to operate with a conspiracy theory group, a community, in order to believe a conspiracy theory. You do not have to have the theory. You can replace the conspiracy theory. You can replace the thing, the reason that a cult comes together. You can replace it every time with something else, like a game. You can replace it with sex. You can replace it with gambling. You can replace it with a fucking Fight Club, right? Remember the movie Fight Club? And just the thing is, you are believing a conspiracy theory when you are listening to those people lie to maintain their echo chamber. And again, just to remind you, just to keep you on point here, the echo chamber is there so that those inside of it cannot have any criticism. It will stop them. So if you want to fact check this, can they be criticized? They can to the entire YouTube community. They can to normal communities like you guys who, our community is normal. It's healthy. The people in our community, they spend time flowing and functioning in many other communities out there. There's nothing that tries to encourage you to stay just here or to not go watch someone else or involve yourself in another community or another channel. We don't restrict you here, though they do there. They do expect that type of devotion there. They expect you to trust them. Anybody who puts out a claim but doesn't provide evidence expects you to trust them. That's what that's all about. In fact, that's what's led a community. The irony, the bitter irony that a community of people on YouTube, a community of people who call themselves skeptical or intelligent or smarter than people, debunkers, people that logically figure things out and let people know what's false, what's real, and then show their opinion. Debunkers have been fooled because they think that you can only apply this type of thing to flat earth or conspiracies. That nobody would ever use those tactics to try to lie to people to gain donations or to run a fundraiser. But in reality, where do you think these tactics originate? From necessity. These tactics have been around for a very long period of time. And it's something that people do when they do fucked up shit in a society. Like if they rob people, if they're killing people, if they're doing something fucked. These tactics have always been used throughout society to try to inject a different narrative. You know, like if the king is fucking killing all these people that are, you know, for whatever reason, or, you know, it's just an evil as fuck motherfucker, the goddamn kingdom isn't going to think that the king's fucked because they're going to use propaganda, echo chambers, spies. They're going to inject information. They're going to intimidate. They're going to threaten. They're going to try to dox. They're going to try to harass. These tactics are the same tactics that have arose through necessity. If you're going to have to steal something from someone to keep your family alive because you can't afford food somewhere, like you're a peasant and shit back in the Middle Ages, you're not going to go around convincing people that you just stole that shit so you can get your hands cut off. You are going to lie, and you're going to use the same tactics that these guys are using to protect their group that they're taking from for whatever fucking reason. And we do know, that's the other problem about this whole story. We know everything that's happened because they're locals. And they think me saying that is an insult. No, I'm accurately describing you. You guys get so butthurt that someone can criticize you and it will cause you to spill every detail about what you've done out there so you could try to prove yourself ethical. But what that does, all that's ever done is just allow criticizers to be able to actually look at and track what's gone on. And that is what has gone on. That is, you have the entire story. We know exactly how many fundraisers were done. Sean didn't just do the one fundraiser where they kept the money that one time. He had done 5 fundraisers in a short period of time where all the money went in that account that is linked to all these guys, and all these guys helped him, and all of them are the same thing, the same way, right? He did a fundraiser so that they, last night I talked about how just after the fundraiser where they stole the money, 2-3 months later, even though he took the $10,000 fundraiser to pay a landlord, right? You got to pay a landlord to pay off a lease, which means you're renting a fucking place for 10 months. So you got a place to live there for 10 months. Just a few months later, he runs another fundraiser so they can move somewhere else, yet doesn't see how he scammed this community. The sheer existence of the fundraisers and the existence of the fundraiser where they kept the money is enough to identify all those fundraisers in that group as fraudulent. Well, let me explain it again. $10,000 fundraiser to pay 10 months of rent to a landlord. Then 3 months later, starting another fundraiser so that you can move you and your alien girlfriend into a house. Where's the $10,000 fucking dollars? If the $10,000 was given to that landlord, and you guys, and that landlord, we have the proof that that landlord moved somebody else in there after Sean left, he would have had to have given the money back to Sean, or Sean would have had to have kept the money. By Sean's own story, regardless of what happened, he got that money and yet did another fundraiser months later. Now, that's not the surprising point. The surprising point is, with the amount of evidence that's there, this community that wants you all to believe that they are intelligent and critical thinkers and skeptical and they don't trust people, they follow evidence. With that amount of evidence that they're denying, they seem to not understand how they are exactly like the flat earthers that they make fun of. But to any person outside of their cult and echo chamber, it's just right in front of your face. It's visible. It's provable. It's provable more than the damn shape of the earth is. There's more evidence for it. Easier to understand evidence for it than there even is for the shape of the earth. And then you've got these guys getting up on the screen next to Team, and I don't blame Team for it unless he doesn't open his eyes soon to what's going on and see that the friends of Hufflepeg and Soybean Rhetoric that are around them that are going out and trying to make excuses for all of this, right? Trying to be okay with Sean doing this and try to damage control for Sean. They should have, if they cared one iota, not just for Team Skeptic's community, but the community that they asked for the money for, they would be screaming at Sean and talking about how they're going to authorities now that they accept the fact of the evidence. Because once Team said it, they all started acting like they accepted the fact of it. Oh, Prodoxins in the chat, I've been trying to tell people this for months. They're just liars. They can just say whatever they want. And because they're liars, they can call anyone a liar, because even if that person's not a liar or is a liar, they're just calling him a liar because they want to call him a liar, right? They want to be able to keep the people in the echo chamber from listening to someone who they identify as a liar. If they convince somebody that this person is the most ultimate liar in the world, then they're not going to go look at their evidence. They're not going to see it. And if you're going to allow Prodoxins to sit next to you while you're sitting here saying this, and you're going to let him make excuses and talk shit, you're going to affect people in that community to try to keep donating or keep holding on to the thought that this may not have happened. This happened. It did happen. Another tactic they tried to use last night, not Team, the people who for some reason he kept around him. Another tactic they used was trying to say that Sean can't be judged until he responds. That's only if he would have responded. This has been months ago. This motherfucker could have stepped up the next day and told us exactly what happened with that money, exactly what he did. And the reason he isn't is because he doesn't want to tell you the truth, that he kept the money, took it and spent, after splitting it with his buddies most likely, went and spent it with his girlfriend. You know, the girlfriend last night who was on Twitter lying, trying to talk people, instead of her telling people what her and Sean did with that money and what Sean told her he did with the money, she goes to Twitter and says, there's a bunch of lies going around about me, so if you want to talk to me, just DM me. Of course she's going to say that. She calls donators pay pigs. We've got this. She's admitted to this. She has admitted on her YouTube channel that she calls the donators pay pigs, that she thinks you're dumb and that she's better than you so that she can manipulate you out of your money. It's a thing called financial domination. It's called financial domination because they want to dominate your bank account using whatever method possible. This is real. She has admitted to this. Sean loves her and is with her, which means he accepts the FinDom as an acceptable way of living and doing things. I don't. I consider FinDom manipulating people for their money. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. They don't, though. How are you going to trust a man whose woman who is making excuses for him, who helped him spend the money? How are you going to trust his word or his friend's word? If you know someone's one of the most vile, disgusting, pathological, lying scumbags that exist, are you still going to sit and make excuses for him? Unless you're also that too. That's why Team, in my opinion, isn't making excuses for them. He's trying to call them out because he's not a scumbag like them. The reason they're going around lying like they are, like lying sane, going around lying like he does, is because he thinks it's okay. He's fine with all this because they wear two faces. The real people that they are this thing that you've seen now. The liars that you see now is what they've been this whole time. That is who they are. A liar can tell you anything. They have no restriction. There's no thought. That's why they never get better at commentary. It's why they never get better at responses. It's why they always lose and they're always fucking exposed. Because a liar has to track their lies. They have to change reality. And every time they change reality, it becomes harder for them to track it. Because instead of looking back on their memory for what really happened, an actual experience or something they've learned, they call to imagination. And when you do that and then you try to recall the timeline of all of your imagination changes to reality, you get it mixed up and fucked up. You change details because you don't have that solid memory to recall to, and that's how they fuck up in the end. Though, if you know they lie, if you catch them in lie after lie after lie after lie, then when are you going to stop and say to yourself, you cannot take information from them as part of the story? From the history of what's happened, you have to look at the proof. If you take one detail from these pathological liars, they're going to shift you. They're going to take you off the path of what history was, what really happened. The thing about this story that's so shocking is that they call themselves skeptics, yet they trust the words of these guys ultimately. And that's what's led them to be lied to and to not looking at the evidence for over a year. Thank God, finally, one of their friends is willing to stand up and call them out because he's not like them. But the problem, what do you think why do you think he even came over to your stream last night? He admitted why. Because Reds called him and told him to go. You think Red stopped text messaging him, calling him and DMing him once he got to your stream? That's why the motherfucker was saying everything he said. That's why he was sitting there making the most absurd excuses, trying to put it in people's heads. He's trying to get in the minds of your viewers. That's why these guys were logged into sock accounts in the live chat, trying to get in the minds of the viewership. That's what they fucking did. If you want rocks, you better start spamming it in the chat because the rock giveaway is coming at you very, very soon. Rock giveaway. Is Streamlabs working? Fuck, I don't see Streamlabs, man. That means, oh, it is working. Streamlabs is working. Okay, we got a rock giveaway coming. So that's the challenge now. If team, and I believe team is, thank you, Leroy, my guy. Thank you for the support, man. It's very much needed around now. Yeah, I can't even tell you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to give out 100,000 rocks in just a few minutes. I'm going to give you guys time to type in the chat so you get the rocks. Whoops. You might get 2 payments because I accidentally closed it and I think I hit the OK button. So you might get 2 payments. There was someone on a sock account, I think it was Sean's girlfriend, saying Sean bought out a lease or some shit. Exactly. Sean, the alien with the peg built in, fucking Reds, Cheshire, Steve, they were all in that chat under sock accounts just spamming their fucking asses off, dude. That's all they were fucking doing. Just spamming their fucking asses off. It's just disgusting. And they act like they act like people couldn't fucking tell. They act like people didn't fucking know or something. Everybody's just sitting there looking at these guys do this and shaking their heads like it's so obvious what these guys are fucking doing. It's just so fucking obvious. And to think that they're that dumb, that they in their mind think people are reading what random accounts are saying and going, oh, I'm going to believe that. The problem is their community needs to fucking go to school. They need to start reading some damn books. If you motherfuckers are trusting any word coming out of their mouths or any of their friends' mouths, then you need some help. It's bad at this point. The amount of evidence is stacked so high, not just for this fundraiser, but yes, for Bullinator's fundraiser. I have hard evidence. Just like that fundraiser, that Bullinator's fundraiser was also misappropriated and most likely kept money just like that one did. Most likely did. It's Occam's razor, like a certain friend of mine with the Findom Rhetoric. Occam's razor, after you find out they have done 40-some fundraisers and you find out that they 100% kept the money in that fundraiser, 10,000, a huge amount of money, Then you find out that they lied on Bull's fundraiser so that they could set it at $15,000 instead of setting it in a realistic price around $4,000 or $5,000, knowing there wasn't a funeral. Thank you, Leroy. Then you know that they did that on purpose to try to incite higher donations from whoever was still around willing to donate now that the truth has been exposed about these guys. And Bull's fundraiser is misappropriated. How does anyone look at their fundraiser knowing they could have got in their fucking car and paid a couple $100s in gas to drive that dog up to fucking Arizona? A couple $100 to drive the dog to Arizona. And instead, they have a friend of theirs drive all the way across the country, supposedly, because they won't unredact receipts and let people know what route they took and prove that they did it or anything. But we're supposed to believe they paid a couple $1,000s to ship a dog when they could have paid a couple $100s in gas, drove the dog there, drove the dog back. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is a death fundraiser. They could have drove the dog themselves and paid a few $100s, but instead charged their friends $2,300 to ship the dog. $2,000 more than they should have from a $5,000 fundraiser. 40% of their fundraiser was spent on shipping the dog, but they overcharged by $2,000. So provably, let's say 38% of their fundraiser, 35% of the fundraiser was misappropriated already. And they should be giving that money back, $2,000 extra to that family, since they wasted it in how they shipped the dog. But I don't believe they did. I think all that bullshit, this is my opinion on shipping that dog and that fundraiser, were just receipts that they had pulled together to try to make excuses to make some of the money disappear. And even if they didn't do that, they have never accounted for what they took in on Sean's PayPal account. Sean's PayPal, the same fucking PayPal that they used. The same PayPal that they used to steal the $10,000. They won't account for what they took into that PayPal at all, to any degree. Even though we know they've used that PayPal to steal $10,000 before. That's why they won't account. Any fundraiser where they will not account, where they haven't accounted yet, including Bull's fundraiser, is not being accounted at this point because they can't. And because if they could, they would do it and try to say, listen, we might have fucked up one fundraiser, but we want to rest the donators' minds and let them know that we didn't fuck up any other. Here's a full accounting for every fundraiser right now, 100%. You don't have to trust us on anything. Here it is. They won't do it. Why would they do it? It's their responsibility. In most of those, they already told people they would 100% account. In Bull's fundraiser, they said they would account. They won't now. When we have no clue how much they took in on PayPal, it's not accounted. Okay? Especially when Red said they took in $1,800. This is a month or two after the fundraiser's over. He says they took in $1,800, but then the next day after we call him out for his receipts being fake as fuck, he says that Sean took in $2,800. He needs to account just because he doesn't know how to count. Provably, or he wouldn't have changed the dollar amount so much. We all know why he changed the dollar amount. We all know why. You know why he changed the dollar amount on the fundraiser multiple times. You know why he changed the fundraiser story multiple times. Because he's a pathological fucking liar. And there's something fucked up they did in that fundraiser. God knows what it is because they control the information. God knows. They won't give us the info purposely after they promised it to us. So they can't sit there and say that it's our fault that we don't know this. It's your fault, motherfuckers. And we know why you're doing it. You're doing it for the same thing you did in your other fundraiser. And how do we know? Because you were willing to lie for an entire fucking year for your last fundraiser. And somehow you guys think for the last year you've been winning. Or you've been owning the libtards. Somehow you guys think your insults and your fucking trolling means anything to anybody once we know that you're thieves. Once we know that you'll defend thieves. Once we know that you're doxers and will defend doxers. Your opinions don't fucking matter after that. You can scream into the air how much you hate everybody. Please do. We know that's what thieves do. We know that's what lying pieces of shit do. It's all good. For fuck's sake, man. Why do you think no one does anything but laugh at you lolcows? But the one thing is, don't sit and act like us being pissed off that you stole this money from these people is some kind of fucked up thing for us to do. They don't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. You were fucking lying to them. If you wouldn't have lied to those people, maybe you'd have a point, but you fucking lied to them. You lie in all your fundraisers. You lie to hide the fact that you didn't pay the landlord like you fucking said you'd do 80 times. And oh, imagine the cringy irony last night when you had these guys sitting around shit-talking Reds in team side chat and up on his screen. Oh, imagine the irony after a year and a half of these motherfuckers acting like I'm lying about Reds. They now admit that I was right all along. Oh, the fucking guilt. Oh, the irony. Then, do you remember Red's title, UNIRock losing his credibility and his mind? Well, now we have hard proof that it was actually the opposite, Reds. It wasn't me that lost anything. In fact, it's you that's lost it all. Ironic that you chose that title. Ironic that you said interesting. But you know what the fucked up thing is? I'll drop the whole act. You know what the fucked up thing is? This is YouTube, and that there are people out there who are scummy people. And no, I'm not talking about these YouTubers. These YouTubers are fucking shitbags, right? That's just proven. But the thing about it is, they can't be the shitbags they are if they don't have equally shitty people following them. And yeah, they are equally shitty. The people supporting these guys, once the proof is out, because they won't look at the proof, because they believe those guys' lies, whatever it is, are just as shitty as those people. It's why they're supporting them. It's why they were okay with these guys going around doxing and threatening people and acting like, you know, SJWs on Twitter for their entire existence, getting butthurt over criticism. That's what they do. They're keyboard warriors. It's why I call them soy boys. It's not an insult. It's an accurate description of you. You meet every definition for the internet meme soy boy. You meet every definition for the internet meme keyboard warrior. And you're the ones that are getting upset because I say it like it's an insult or something. What do you want me to do? Break down the definition every time I fucking say it? No, I'm going to just call you a soy boy because that's what you are. You're someone who goes around trying to act all big and tough when in all reality, you're sitting on a couch drinking a soy shake, yelling for someone to come take care of you, pay your rent, and do everything for you. You're a soy boy. You think you have some fucking right to other people's money because of who you are or some shit. I don't know. You just think everyone else should pay for your shit, or you wouldn't do so many fundraisers, and you wouldn't not account for the money, and you wouldn't lie all the time like you do. You guys think that other people are entitled, that you're entitled to have other people take care of your ass. You don't have to go make content, do a live stream, whatever it is, to make a fucking donation or an ad click. No, you guys get up there and try to force these people to give you money by lying to them. Then when somebody criticizes you for it and calls you out, you sit and lie on them. Then you go and lie on all their friends. Then you go and lie on everybody else because you're pathological liars. It's recorded. It's put into history now. And now your own community. Everybody outside of your community already knows what you guys are. It's why your community shrinks like crazy all the time. But now you've got people inside your community that are fucking calling you out. And you know, maybe they have a good motivation for doing it. Maybe they have a bad motivation. I do think there's a lot of bad motivations that are driving people's actions, personally. I think Team's trying to do the right thing, but until he gets those guys away from him, those other people that are close to him, it's not going to happen. And he wants to say that I'm just being a dick or something. Oh, Uni's just trying to tell us not to be around you. I don't give a fuck if he's around you. I do not give a fuck if he hangs out with those scumbags or not. I'm going to tell you this. When Team finally breaks away from these scumbags, that's when people who watch his show are going to stop finding out what these guys are doing and then wondering why Team is supporting it and then leaving Team's channel. He'll finally start to grow in subs and views, get bigger live streamed audience. He'll finally stop thinking, he'll finally understand that he's not resigned just to sit and talk about flat earth. The people that watch flat earth debunking do not just watch flat earth fucking debunking. That's some kind of myth people have built up, and the flat earthers are dying out. YouTube's banning all of them. Eventually, you're going to have to spread your wings and fucking fly. Just do, look, last night's stream. You know what the most people told me about last night's stream? They said, I missed Team being like that. That's the Team I knew before he started to get stuck with these fools.
That's the team that everybody knew. That's the little cartoon character that everybody subbed to. Last night, while he was not only fucking calling these dudes out, but clowning on them like a motherfucker. What did he say? Something about one of them looking like a Mack truck or some shit. It was the funniest fucking shit ever. And that's when everybody's like, there's the team I used to watch. If he gets his fucking ass away from these people, he's going to finally start growing again on YouTube and start, you know, going upward. They are a fucking plague. They will bring you down. You can choose to be brought down with them if you want. I'm just trying to give him a little bit of good advice. I know, because I get it. I get this kind of shit, man. Team has been held down because of his association with all these people and because they've changed what he used to bring to the table on YouTube once he started hanging out with them. All he's got to do is shake those motherfucking lying cocksuckers off of him and then go back to what he used to do. Go back to the way he used to bring it. And I promise you, bro, even if he just tries it for 2 months, right after he does it for a few weeks, his channel's going to start ticking on up. Trio, this show is not necessarily brought to you by National Lampoon's Peg-Legged Fundraising Vacation. Don't want to work? Hate empathy and people? Take their money and go on vacation today. Promo code What's Accountability. Trio, that's just excellent, bro. I love it. I love that dono. Favorite dono of the night, dude. I love it. Though, there's really not much else to say. It's just that every community on YouTube is always going to have some sheep to follow it. Right? And you can lock down your following trying to entertain what you've got. Okay? You can say to yourself, you know, had a big old following and I decided that I was going to just spend my time hanging out with some douchebags, right? And now, you know, it's like things are just fucking boring and shitty because of the douchebags doing douchey things and getting busted for it. So there's just a choice you got now. You can fucking say fuck it and go out and do your thing. Or you can just let those douchebags hold you down forever. And they're going to hold themselves down forever. Always having to lie, push narratives, try to make people think things, man the deck on their keyboards to go in into side chats and to try to push one of their buddies up on the screen to start doing damage control. Could you imagine if you did that kind of thing, which they do, Reds and Sean and all of them provably do. That's how they operate. If you did that, do you realize how much of your time it would take just to do a few parts of that? Well, now you understand why Reds never has time to do anything on YouTube. Because he doesn't do shit in real life. Admittedly, it's what he said. And his friends don't have jobs or do anything. But they're busy. Shut up, Gus. I'm doing a stream. Quit screaming. Gus is over there mowing his ass off. Come here, Gussie. Come sit with me. Everybody likes to see you. You're cute. The team said a couple of times last night he was not going to do Flat Earth anymore. He was done with it. Good. But he also needs to get Jared and these other people away from him because they are liars. Pathological liars. They don't even know how to flow a conversation. If you've ever seen them live, they don't even know how to fucking say anything interesting, follow what everyone else is saying, and continue the conversation on. Whenever they speak, they're stopping the conversation dead in its tracks and trying to rail it off somewhere else, where usually they're trying to kiss one of their friends' ass and trying to get people to go watch one of their friends. And like, they're just straight up, like he is straight up indebted to Reds. I don't know why Reds tries to find mentally deranged criminal-ass motherfuckers like these guys and try to get them to, you know, kiss his ass every fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day and live in service to him. But that's what he does. He's a fucking narcissist cult leading fool. And he targets really fucking weak people to do his dirty work. Though his dirty work isn't reality. It's not the truth. His dirty work is trying to get people to believe that they didn't con a fundraiser, to get people to believe that Bull's fundraiser was done responsibly or to some kind of standard when it wasn't. He wrote about pushing shit into UNIRock's ass on the front of the document accounting for Bull's fundraiser. That in itself should just be enough for anyone to say he hates Bullinator. I have never heard of anyone even talking about pushing shit into somebody's ass anywhere near a funeral, let alone on the document accounting for the fundraiser for the funeral that never happens because there was a cremation and Reds lied to get the figure up to 15,000. It's goddamn disgusting. The echo chamber and his simps, that's the best way to describe them, are what is used to try to keep the narrative out there in his small and ever shrinking community so that they don't learn the truth and actually criticize Reds for doing these things. Reds is trying to build the uncriticizable echo chamber due to how much it hurts his poor little feelings if anyone criticizes him. Why he gets so angry. But we're talking about the dude who's ran Dumb Fuck of the Year awards for the last few years, for fuck's sake. And when he runs them, he doesn't even care for it to be accurate. If somebody can debunk his DFOTY, isn't that an issue? Doesn't that mean he's the DFOTY? That's what happened. And I think I should pull up those clips. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight. I'll go to Discord and see if anybody's got them. We've got new clips to watch. We've got clips of what really happened when I was on the DFOTY panel selection stream, where I was sitting there telling them, no, you can have that person take my spot. That's fine. Have them take my spot. Because I didn't care to be there. One of Red's narratives is that I was butthurt because Reds didn't want me to be on DFOTY. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I'd never even watched it before. All of a sudden, though, I'm like, I have to be on it. Oh, my God. My main channel was bigger than Reds' channel. But for some reason, instead of me just going and making content on my main channel that got more views than Reds' channel, I want to be on DFOTY. Ooh. It's the kind of narrative they create. Why? Because they know that their audience looks at DFOTY and says, oh, that's cool. Even though only a couple hundred people watched it concurrent. So fucking ridiculous. But it goes to show how powerful groupthink is. If the people that you're group thinking for are highly suggestible, highly unintelligent, highly emotional, highly brain damaged, whatever they got going on with them that makes them need to have groupthink to be able to make them feel better or service whatever need it is, right? That's what they look for. It's why they targeted Bullinator. Bullinator said it all in one of his last streams before he left the internet, right? He said it all. He was getting away from those guys. There are people out there who will not speak publicly because Red's rhetoric has threatened them with guns. Okay? We all know this. We've all heard this. We've all heard Reds apologize for shit like this. We know what the stories are. So, I mean, when you get to that level, when things are at that level, when you've got people who could come out and actually speak to a lot of the garbage that's gone on in this story, and they won't come on because of the threats they've been given by an internet soy boy, because they say they are legitimately fucking scared of him and what he will do if he fucking gets pissed, right? There's a problem there. Now, that's not that there's one story like that. We've got recordings of this shit. We've got a recording where Reds was flipping out at a funeral, ironically. We've got recordings. I should play them. I should fucking play those again. We listened to them on here before. The point that I'm trying to make it, but what about him at the dinner table and flipping out? This is the people you're dealing with. Why don't they act like that on YouTube? Why aren't they like this on YouTube? They're just like this right off of YouTube because they wear a face, they wear a mask, they wear a personality. And that personality would never keep fundraiser money. Everybody must be lying on Red's rhetoric. It's a huge conspiracy theory. Oh my God, everybody's lying on Red's rhetoric. That's the biggest, bestest conspiracy theory it's ever existed, according to him. He bumps into all these creators, and all these creators end up criticizing him and leaving him, but somehow they're all lying. It's all them. It has nothing to do with what he does and how he acts and how he fucking treats people. Oh no, it's nothing there. Yeah, and that fundraiser him and Sean did, even though they won't speak on it whatsoever, they won't go to Red's channel and do a video where they actually explain what really happened, but they'll let people go around trying to convince people what's possible that happened, what might have happened, even though these motherfuckers could come out right now and give people what really happened, and they won't. Everybody's lying on them. It's just the hugest conspiracy ever. They're conspiracy theorists. That's what it is. Thanks, Bino. Oh, yeah. They have a lot of weirdos following them around. There was a nerd guy on Team Stream yesterday, and some of the peeps in my Discord went and noticed that he was following them. So a lot of the other peeps in Discord went and looked. He's following every single person in my Discord who has a Twitter. Just out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. It's not like he followed me. He's following viewers that hang out in my Discord server. No joke. I swear to fuck. They're weird motherfuckers. They're crowd stalking motherfuckers, but they learned from the best because Red's Rhetoric and Sean are the two premier predominant crowd stalking motherfuckers. They've both been doing this shit for the longest time. They've been exposed for this shit many times. And now all they got to is adding to the notch on their belt that they stole $10,000 from a fundraiser and then lied about it for an entire fucking year so they could run a bunch more fundraisers where they most likely, due to the fact that they stole the fundraiser money before, yes, it is more logical. It is, you are a conspiracy theorist motherfucker if you're going to say that it's likely they didn't keep money just in that one. You're the conspiracy theorist if you think they just kept money in one. The likelihood is that they kept money in the majority of them. Oh, well, let's give an example. We know that they bought Marvel Girl a bed. Well, how much was the bed? How much did you take in for the bed? Okay, well, let's go to another one. What about Ilya Moon sharing a fundraiser for like $38,000 just a few weeks before this whole thing popped off? And then I'm hearing rumors that there's another $25,000 fundraiser that I don't even know about that Ilya Moon's a part of. Ilya Moon, sit down with the bunkers being Ilya Moon, Red, Chesh, and the fucking other people who all go around fucking SJW making excuses for them. Why don't they account for these fundraisers and get all of them accounted for and put their donators' mind to ease now that they are responsible to account due to the fact that one of their fundraisers had all of the money stolen? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They are a bunch of weird cultists. It's provably they are in a cult. Provably. There's just no doubt. There's just no way around it. They're in a fucking cult. This is cult-like behavior, cult-like thinking, cult-like lies. It involves money. It involves sex. If you didn't know this, their entire group involves sex. The creators out there that are all in this little group around Reds, they all end up having sex with these other people, these other females that hang out around them, who are the ones that fight on Twitter and YouTube in comment sections for them, like Ilya Moon and these other people. In fact, there's this weird love triangle thing going on with Ilya Moon, Red's Rhetoric, and then that one guy, I forget his name. And that's just factual. Everybody in their community knows about it and talks about it. That's how I found out about it. Their community members came and talked to me and then showed me clips and shit. They all want ego strokers. If you don't stroke their ego, they want you destroyed. Wannabe internet fascists. They are tyrants. I hope to God Team isn't trying to replace the tyrant that he just knocked off of the king's seat. I really hope that's what Team... I hope Team doesn't fall down that cycle. I believe he won't. I believe Team cares about his community, and that's what drove him to do this. I truly do. Though, he can't just go half-ass. I've already put out on Periscope and UNIRock 2, and now here with this video, that I will debunk any of their fucking lies that they tell. They've all been shit-talking me for a year. And now I'm saying, if you believe any of the bullshit they've spit about me, then actually provide a clip and show me where I've lied or done something wrong so that I can debunk you and prove you to be the liar. I put this challenge out to a Marvel Girl, the bed fundraiser lady, and she still hasn't responded. She was calling me a liar. Well, Uni lies about everything he says, so I don't know what to believe. Well, show me where I fucking lied, Marvel Girl. You won't do it. I've been telling you to do this for a while. Show me in a video. You say you have a Patreon. You've got all these people that you promised all this content to if they get you to a certain amount per month on Patreon. So give them some fucking content. Back up the bullshit that you say on streams and on Twitter and Discord. Oh, you think I haven't heard the Discord recordings or seen the Discord screenshots? Well, I have. So why don't you back up? Why don't you cash some of those checks that your mouth is writing and actually show where I've lied so that I can fucking respond? And I challenge that doofus sitting on Team Skeptic's stream to do the same thing. Let's see you put your money where your mouth is. Because I'll fucking show you clips that actually prove that the things I've said about these guys that they call me a liar for saying are backed by clips. I have clips that'll prove it. You just haven't watched my content or you wouldn't be talking shit. Because eventually you'd have to think that it's just going to bring more negative attention to the people you serve. The difference between me, you a Marvel girl, you nerdy motherfucker on Team Stream, you other people talking shit in their community. The difference between me is you, I'm not subservient to anybody. I don't serve anybody on this platform. Oh, well, I only serve one person. Yes, you dingbat, I'm talking about you. See, you've got to serve these people. You've got to fucking bow down to them and do everything they want you to do 24/7. And just like someone in the chat said, stroke their fucking egos or they're going to turn on you. Well, I don't do that. I don't play that fucking game. So now, since you've been wanting to run your mouth for all this while, let's see what you got. Pull some clips. Everything I do is public on the platforms. Pull the clips. Show me what drives your opinion of this. Because I'm going to show you that you're fucking wrong. That Reds and Sean, Steve, and all these other people have done exactly what I've said they've done this whole time. In fact, a year and a half ago, you all called me a liar because I told you they had a bank account that was linked together. I told you that they funneled money into that account from fundraisers. I told you that it was Steve, Sean, and Reds that were doing this, sending audience members to donate because they had this linked together PayPal account. And I told you that it was like a pyramid scheme. You all called me liar for a fucking year. And now you know that everything I fucking said, Reds is admitted to. There's hard evidence to prove, like court fucking, like him getting evicted and sued and for not paying the rent to the landlord. And I've got clips that back up everything I said about Reds and Steve. I got Reds' own admission I played last night to what I told you a year and a half ago about Reds. One of the things that a Marvel girl thinks I lied about back then, Reds then admitted to 6 months after a Marvel girl and her friends called me a liar. And that's what's going to happen with all of your fucking lies. All the bullshit you talk, that same thing is going to happen. You can talk your shit, and I will pull the clips and show you that your fucking masters, your simp lords, actually did do all the things that I told you they did because I had evidence to prove it or I wouldn't have said it. I showed you the evidence a year ago, but for some reason you wouldn't accept it. You've got a fucking eviction now. I bet you won't accept it either. But that's the good, because I've set out to prove you lying motherfuckers, the conspiracy theorist liars that you are. I've set out to show that you are just like the flatties and the other people you call out. Though you're worse because you're not doing it for some imaginary shape of the earth. You're doing it to try to put down and judge other people for things they haven't said or done. Using lies so that you can protect your simp lords. And it's all caving in on you. It's all coming down all around you, falling straight. But the fucking goddamn cracks of your fucking castle have already started cracking and falling down on you. All around. There's just no time. There's none left. Your community is self-destructing. If you would have listened to me a year and a half ago, your community could have criticized these motherfuckers and you could have saved your fucking community. Do you think the YouTube community, any YouTube fucking member out there, any viewer, any creator out there is going to fucking want to fuck with you or respect you at all after they find out you all fucking took the lies from Reds and Sean with a spoon right into your fucking mouth like you were sitting in a high chair and then repeated them and fucking served them, spreading those lies for a year and a half because you're not smart enough to fact check the things they said. You're not a debunker. You don't know how to do this. You can't commentate. You can't even respond, or you would. And it would be more than you just sitting there running your mouth. You'd actually be able to show the fucking sources to what you're trying to say and prove, like I've done in this situation. The reason that team knows what's going on now and sees it is because I put it all in a video weeks before he just said what he said. Why is it that every time I put out a video, it eventually is accepted by all these people? Because it takes time for the cognitive dissonance to wear off. They have been lied to and manipulated for years by these guys. They have been lied and manipulated in ways that are specifically targeted to be able to take money from them and to make it to where they would be unaware of the things these guys are doing to take advantage of them. They specifically lied to do that. They are pathological. It is a fucking disorder. There's something wrong with these guys. And there's also something wrong with the people who sit and call themselves skeptics and intelligent that just were spoon-fed that shit and didn't spit it out and leave. You just sat there letting yourself be. Now you know why I call you soy boys. Because you just sat there eating that shit. You didn't even object. Look at Astronomical Lies. Look at him. I mean, for fuck's sake, he acts like he's in love with Red's rhetoric, the way he defends him and white knights. These motherfuckers are white knights for each other. They have it convinced in their head that the only reason people criticize them and Steve and others is because of shit that like Kyle said or something. It's not all the fucking clips we have of Steve harassing people, talking about his penis, fucking, you know, all the other crazy shit that I won't bring up because I'll get demonetized for saying it. Doxing people. That's why people call out Steve McRae, attacking 7-year-olds, attacking a woman's child because he's mad at the woman YouTuber over YouTube stuff. Jesus Christ, man. That is not something that Kyle told me, but that's what Team thought last night. Why? Because Team hasn't followed this story. Team has just let Red's rhetoric sit down next to him and run his fucking mouth like he always does. And what does Red say when he's around all of his friends, every time he's around his friends? Every day in Discord, every day everywhere else, he sits and talks about his criticizers because he's butthurt by them. He is affected, bro, because he won't stop talking about him. It's fucking 24/17 with this dude. I've been shown and told this for a year. It's crazy. I put that much time into their criticizers means they're pretty fucking affected by the criticizers, you know? And I'd understand if he was doing some type of content, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's prepping for a live stream where he's going to talk about the fucked up shit these dudes did this week, you know, because it's extreme as fuck and low-cal as fuck and funny as fuck. No, he's sitting there whining in Discord saying, UNIRock made me a victim again today. Whoa! I mean, shit, dude. I'd get bored of that shit if I was people listening to it, man. They don't understand why it's entertaining to talk about them lying as much as they do. I mean, fuck, dude. You got an eviction. You got this dude saying he took $10,000 from a fundraiser to pay a landlord for his future rent payments and pay off his lease. He's got an eviction just a couple months later showing that he did not pay the landlord, and these guys are still trying to lie about it. It's entertaining as fuck to watch them do this. It's just it's just like Darkside Phil. It's like Darkside Phil doing the same thing, man. That's why we watch him. It's why us internet dwellers watch Darkside Phil videos, Wings of Redemption videos. These guys lie about the shit they lie about. They're locals. It's entertaining. Fuck. Holy shit, is Team in here? What the fuck is up, bro? You want come hang, dude? I never thought I'd see it again, bro. I never thought I'd see it again. Get up here, bro, sometime and talk to me, man. That's fucking awesome to see you in here. I didn't think I would, bro. It's been too long. Anyway, that's the point. Cataloging this whole thing, you know, breaking down this whole thing for this year has been because I knew that these guys had done some of the most fucked up. Look, you guys know, back on my main channel, I wish I had the video right now because I'd play it for you. I did a fucking documentary series on Shia LaBeouf. So I always call him Shia LaBoo-Boo, you know? And the documentary series was the He Will Not Divide Us. And there was like 10 stages or like 8 stages to it. It's an internet event, right? And when it happened, it was this big thing and people wanted to tell the story. They wanted to archive it. And it's what I did on UNIRocktv. I took these things, these events that would spawn, and I would, you know, document down what's going on with them and make it into a video. It's like an internet culture video, okay? You tell me if what we've witnessed by these guys doing this fundraiser and lying about it for a year, just to run 40 more fucking fundraisers while they lie about it, you know, or 40 total fundraisers, you know, lying about it. That is an internet event, just like He Will Not Divide Us, just like these other internet events. The problem is this is, and I don't know why. I mean, fucking McRae knew this is what I did on YouTube, but he knew it's what I did that I moved away from to go to UNIRock 2 and just start live streaming video games and chilling when demonetization hit. But these types of internet events are things that will, if they're an extreme story, become Leroy. Oh, it's not the real team? What do I do? Fucking give him a... Okay, I'll remove moderator. If that's really him, he can message me and I'll give him a moderator wrench. So. Okay, now. Back to what I was saying, though. that is what McCrae knew. That's what I did. He knew you take those internet events, and if they are very crazy and extreme and all that, they make the best YouTube videos. At least for me, that's what I used to talk about. That's those high view videos on UNIRocktv. All of it. I mean, I had an entire series. Every video had over 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 views. The highest one was like 800,000 when I had to delete them. And they would have been at 1 million if they would have sat there, but they got demonetized. And those videos are just internet culture or internet events. This internet event is one of the, I would say, biggest kind of like internet event videos, because this doesn't happen, right? You don't get people keeping a $10,000 fundraiser ever, right? So it's going to be a massive story no matter what. I'm not saying it's going to get massive views. I haven't been doing a lot of internet culture videos lately. I've been doing mostly commentary and video games and chilling. You know that. Playing a lot of Tarkov. If I was doing internet culture videos every couple days like I used to on UNIRocktv, and then I dropped this story, if this was a UNIRocktv video back when I uploaded there every day, it would most likely get 100,000 views because it's that good of a fucking story. All the twists and turns, all the insanities. You know, you've got Findom, you've got a shit dog in a shit cage, you've got fucking this guy telling everybody that he needs to go get a job in Florida, but moving in with a fucking dominatrix in New Jersey, becoming a New Jersey dominatrix slave instead of going down to Florida to get the job. Then afterwards having to run another fundraiser because they blew the $10,000, most likely splitting it with their friends who are also on that bank account. He Will Not Divide Us was the best in my opinion. I enjoyed that too, Leroy. I really did. But you've then got them after keeping the $10,000 and not going to Florida to get the job and do all that, and instead moving in with the dominatrix. And this is all provably true and admitted by these people. Then they have to run another fundraiser so they can move out of the husband's house because the husband's mad at him for fucking the wife that he's been fucking. And the husband changes his mind about him fucking the wife. And the wife ends up leaving the husband, who's paralyzed from the neck down and his dick won't work according to her. And that's why she had to move him in. That's why the dominatrix moved him in. And then he and she had to go and do a fundraiser to get a new place after the husband kicked him out. And then fucking they end up leaving and moving and getting called out for all of this. And then Reds ends up getting called out and then lies for him. And it's just one of the most twist and turn stories that exists. On top of that, right before they did all this, the reason they had to do a fundraiser is because Reds was trying to do a hostile takeover of somebody else's YouTube channel, and it ended up falling apart in front of his face when they got called out for lying about having a contract, which we do have the video clips to show them telling people they had the contract, and then months later telling people they never had a contract. So we have the video clips for all of this. They're trying to fucking do a hostile takeover of another YouTube channel. It blows up in their face. They end up getting called out for it. Then they end up having all their fucking skeletons exposed out of their closet. And what do these guys do? They just sit and lie for an entire fucking year. They just lie. And finally, we decide to come out and end this when they do the Bullinator fundraiser. And now look at them. They're wishing that they never fucking did it. They are wishing that they just accounted for Bull's fundraiser, didn't misappropriate it, so that they never would have got criticized and it never would have led to this moment. They're wishing that right now. But because they're so fucking low-cal, they're so crazy about this shit, and they can't help it. Look, that's where they're at now. That's where they are. They're stuck. It's kind of fucking amazing, to be honest. It's just amazing. But the main thing here is, in my opinion, you have people that have supported Reds and Sean, lying for them. The people, Dick in Space, Dick Dawson, BM Furball especially, AT2, Steve McRae, Cheshire, and Reds, all told the internet that they checked Sean's receipts. They checked Sean when it came to paying the landlord, and that they knew, they saw evidence and knew that he paid the landlord. And they all said this because none of them thought it was possible for the eviction to happen. They lie about serious stuff like this to defend themselves and their friends. all the time. And I've got the video evidence to prove it. Why they called in an internet culture, internet fucking history documentarian to do a video on them and begged me to do it, I'll never know. But I did it, and it's what exposed all of this. Okay? They tried to deny. There was a time when Hufflepeg told people I didn't have any videos on my channel that had over 100,000 views, when publicly I have one sitting there with 500,000 views. And then I put out a bunch of thumbnails and proved that I had one with 600, 800, 900,000, 500, 400, 190,000. I put out some thumbnails to prove it. And he just goes, well, oops, my bad, you know? And that's the thing. Like, I don't know why they try to convince themselves that I don't know how to look into a subject, find what's publicly there, and do a video on it. I have no fucking idea why they think I can't do it, knowing I did it on my main channel for years until it hit up to 40,000 subscribers before I had to leave due to demonetization, not other crazy conspiracies that you guys make up all the time. I showed my dashboard. I showed my channel when I went to UNIRock 2. My audience saw it all with their own eyes. So you can lie all you want. Actually, I should find that video because I have all those videos backed up. I should take the time and do it, honestly. The point is, I do know how to document things. That's how I busted Sean. I do know how to that's how I busted Prodoxins as a Prodoxer. I do know how to document things. It's how I busted Red's Rhetoric as an internet keyboard warrior soy boy, pathological lying narcissist that tries to make excuses and run these fundraisers with Sean and then keep the money. It's how I've shown this structure that they've built, the echo chamber they've tried to build. The thing that sucks for them is once you identify that they have an echo chamber, that's when it breaks down. All people need to know is that's what they're doing, and they'll go test it. They'll try to criticize him, and they'll watch him flip out and ban him and, you know, have a fit and cry, and they'll know that that's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with people because they lie so much, they can't be criticized. They'll never accept it. And because they have followers that will also not call them out for lying and bullshitting because they're also liars and bullshitters, they'll just keep doing it. So the problem is, they don't get how information travels on YouTube. YouTube is a thing you have to look at, you log into. And some people get busy during the day. Some people get busy at other times. And so they don't log into YouTube for a few days or for a week or two. So it may look to them like they have, you know, not a lot of people that are affected by the information that's come out. But as time goes on, more and more and more and more people will tell more and more people, and it'll ricochet around because it has to on YouTube due to the amount of people who don't log in all the time and just stop in here and there. They'll have people 5 months from now finding out about what these guys did and unsubscribing and leaving them and never watching them again. They'll have people a year from now doing it. And anytime they try to fucking do something on YouTube and pick it up, then people are going to end up telling them and letting the new people find out. These dudes are the ones that stole the $10,000 from a charity they ran on from their fucking viewers. And then people are going to be like, I'm the fucking getting out of here. They have destroyed their YouTube presence. And they know that. That's what's something that's made Sean and Red so upset and so angry over this and so affected. It's also why we tried to warn Fight the Flat Earth, and we tried to warn Team, and we tried to warn other people. Thank God Team got away, because he deserves to be away from that, in my opinion. I used to think that ftfe deserves to be away from it before they all go down, and we let him know. We sent him the evidence, so he knows. He knew that Sean and Reds did this. He had the evidence in front of him, and he didn't care and still defended them. So now he can go down on their sinking ship. I'm not giving him an out. Team can give him an out all he wants, but I'm not giving him an out. I'm not giving any one of them an out that don't deserve it. A week ago on Scope, I did a Scope and told him, hey, any of you guys out there that have been helping these guys, if you want to put out a video and react normally in a normal way, then I'm cool. I'll fucking leave you out of my videos. I won't fuck with you at all. But if you're going to sit and defend these guys, don't be pissed when videos start getting made that prove you are defending them and working with them and in it with them. And the problem is these guys don't think that these videos are going to have any impact. The reason this is all happening is only because I did that video. So what's going to happen when more videos get done? More and more people are going to find out. More and more people are going to know the truth. And instead of you guys being able to restrict the evidence from them, they're going to be given it in the videos. Last night, Negative Exponents put the link directly to the eviction in the chat at Team's chat so that Sean and Reds and ATP Productions and all those people couldn't lie about the eviction, because Productions trying to tell people that it wasn't because he didn't pay. He's trying to allude to the fact that Sean still paid yet got evicted, and that it doesn't matter. No matter how it happened, if he did not hand that money to that landlord for 10 months of future rent payments and then rent that place and stay at that place for 10 months, then he conned that fundraiser. That is a fact. He does not get to break up the walls and shit like that and then use the fundraiser money to pay for it. He doesn't get to do any other thing these guys are trying to say and then use the fundraiser money. The fundraiser money pays the rent for 10 months so that he has a guaranteed place to live. That's what that does. Because if he does keep that money and it doesn't stay in that landlord's hand, he defrauded that fundraiser. So all those other excuses, all the bullshit, those are just the straw men that these guys build. Sean, all he had to do is either hand that money to that landlord, or if for some reason he ends up moving and getting that money back, give it back to the donators. Because if you don't do that, you've conned them. That's what they don't understand. When you hold a fundraiser and you either do what you say you're going to do with it, or you're conning those people. There's no third option. You don't get to say, well, we might not have moved to Florida, but we moved to New Jersey. Then you conned them. If you didn't go to Florida or give the money back, you conned them. Well, we might have gotten the drone, but we sold it 2 days later. Then you conned them. You were supposed to use the drone to make content for the rest of your YouTube channel. Well, we bought Marvel Girl a bed, but we might have kept a couple $1,000s. Then you conned them because you were supposed to buy a bed with every dime you fucking got and not keep any of the money. Whatever they did, they won't account because they don't want you to know the truth about what happened. And their accounting is just them trying to throw a couple receipts out and then they say, see, we accounted. Though we have recordings of all of them, AT2, Sean, and Reds, the people that ran these fundraisers, we've got recordings of them telling everybody what a conned fundraiser is. So they are provably lying. They are shifting the fucking goalposts provably. They are having one standard for other people than they have for themselves. Just like they're trying to say Sean's innocent if he doesn't respond, or until he responds. No, he's not. He's guilty. He is guilty for not giving the landlord that money. That's what that eviction means. No matter how much you try to lie about it, that's what it means. You can lie to yourself all you want. You're the only one you're lying to. Everybody else is just shaking their heads at you. But then again, we've all known this for the whole time, because when I first came out and told you that this fundraiser was fraudulent, I showed evidence that it was fraudulent. He was fucking asking for the money to pay a landlord's lease off so that he could move, which is against the law. Team Skeptic told him it was against the law when he had the stream, and these two made excuses and kept going. They didn't refund the money. That because they were just lying to come up with any excuse to get $10,000 from their audience. They would have said anything. They would have tried to say anything. They're kicking themselves right now saying, fuck, why didn't we just lie and say that it was for something else that these guys would have never been able to prove? That's how we know which fundraisers they are scamming. If you can't fucking look at their fundraiser and see that they paid the money and have evidence that they accounted fully, not just 2% or with the receipt, fully accounted, they have misappropriated that fundraiser. Every one of them that they don't come out and show evidence for after we know they kept money in the $10,000 fundraiser. That is true. They have a burden to prove their fundraisers non-fraudulent after defrauding that fundraiser. That is the truth. Because once you steal from one fundraiser, historically speaking, they're going to steal from the others. They want to come out and say they only stole from one? Okay, prove it. Show the accounting for all those fundraisers. They won't. What does that mean? That means they won't because they damn can't. And they can't. Well, you already know. Let's see what the live chat's saying. All right. Watch the stream in holographic projection now on stage 2 of the Lurker's Lounge, the most comfortable lurking place on the web. Thank you, R-Top. Appreciate you, buddy. So, we're at the end of a long journey of what I call a live streamed investigation almost. Basically, I report to you through Periscope the entire saga of the breakup of NonSec into the lawsuit of NonSec into the criticism disaster of 2019, including KJP, into the fundraising disaster of 2020, into now the unveiling of the cult at the end of the entire story. the cult that was used to cover up the manipulation and theft from a community of people due to the lying and cult tactics that were used to demonize criticizers and laud or numb the brain of the supporters. And it's a study. It is a study in how people who are smart, college educated in some situations, or desiring to be smart, allowing themselves through basic manipulation tactics, long honed con man, snake oil tactics, cult tactics that have been used since the dawn of mankind, have been tweaked for the internet realm. And due to the newness of the internet, those same kind of old school psychological manipulations have been played upon the viewership that these people, and in the beginning, I'm sure that they didn't do these kind of things to their audience. And I do think that after a while, they started to feel the benefit of non sequitur pulling donators in due to the trend that happened. And when it broke up, I do think they had to change their fundraisers to replace the money they weren't getting from the flooding of people in that would support them, because as they stopped doing any type of content and any type of service to the viewership and just started lying about these topics, pushing the non-sec bullshit, trying to create these fake fights with other creators and these fake Uni's butt hurt and Steve isn't, or Steve's butt hurt and Uni isn't, depending what side you're on, and da-da-da-da. And in all reality, I just criticized the man and he got butt hurt over it and flipped out, and it's recorded and it's on the channel. These little things had to happen. I let them happen. I let these guys lie about me. I let these guys talk their shit. I let these guys run their mouths in their when I would criticize their fundraiser, I knew they would come back and do streams where they would end up incriminating themselves, and I'll be damned if they didn't do it. I just played a little bit of it last night. They don't seem to get this, but this was all just watching them hang themselves, watching them throw the evidence out in front of everyone due to the lies they told. And the more they talked and the more that they lied, the better it is in the end when I make the video. So that when they're lying on Team Stream, that's excellent. I've already got it backed up. It's great because when it allows me to have a source material to show them the evidence that we know these guys have seen, and then the lies that they're telling provably to try to defend against more people finding the evidence. That's going to also add to the video in an extreme way. Hella add to the video. Sage says, Red's going to have to go full Christian to get forgiveness for this shit. You're right. And I don't think he will, but he just might try. Yep, Team Skeptic, anything will do at the moment. I'm starving, says Les. Well, look, I don't think Team did anything wrong. I think Team, as long as he allows the cognitive dissonance to keep moving away and allows himself to look at the evidence and be honest about it in front of his audience about these guys, then he's redeemed himself completely. Instantly. Team's the one who actually can get away from this. AT Doxer and all of Doxer's friends, the ones that hang around him, Red, Sean, and all the people that hang around them, Steve, Chesh, and all the people that hang around them, they're fucked. They're not getting out of this. They're going right down with Reds and Sean. I know that what happened, I could tell that Team had been approached by Steve. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it's true, but I have the opinion he was approached by Steve and these other people, and they begged him that when he was going to call out Reds and Sean to give them an out, because they probably gave him their word or whatever that they would take the out and that they would support Team if he did this. And I guarantee that happened behind the scenes. There's no other reason why Team would give Steve an out unless he doesn't know what Steve did. But that's fine, because I'm gonna give Team an entire evidence pack on Steve, where it's just his public postings that prove why he wouldn't take the payment for non-sec. Because we have the reason. We know why, McBoomer, you wouldn't take those non-sec payments, and we know why you didn't sign the contract, and we know even though you would file that affidavit to the court where it says what you told the court, we all know what the truth really is because you stated it out loud. So, sorry to say, don't act like you can just... If you would have had something more than that affidavit to the court, maybe people would give you something, but you don't. So, you getting that win at the court, you think it's not going to fuck you down the road? It doesn't matter if people hate Kyle. He can still go prove that you lied to the court to try to steal his business. When he gets his shit together, I don't care if it's 3 years down the line. he's going to go to that court and he's going to prove to that judge that McRae tried to steal his business from him, because he's going to show the judge the proof that he offered McRae a contract and McRae willingly and knowingly wouldn't sign it and chose to leave Kyle as the one in charge and then went and sued him after, which is illegal. You can't do that. When you choose not to sign the fucking contract and to not enter into the partnership, you can't go in and tell the judge that the partnership was real the whole time. Sorry, that's not how it works. Steve's buddies can argue that him turning down that contract doesn't matter all they fucking want. It's the same thing as arguing that this eviction doesn't prove that fucking Sean didn't pay the landlord. He gave up his partnership of non-sec when he refused to sign the paper. And guess what I have on my interview with old McRae, the first one I did? Him admitting that he wouldn't sign, he willingly chose not to sign the contract to make him a partner, a non-sec. I have the clip saved for the day Kyle finally decides to go give it to that judge. In fact, I've got multiple clips for Kyle to give to that judge whenever Kyle feels like doing it. Even after that court case is over, it's not going to matter. The judge will still take it if he can prove he was lied to in that fucking court case. And I can prove it. I tried to tell Steve that and he flipped out and had a fucking hissy fit. Oh, is Chimera in here? Chimera, are you all right? I haven't seen you in a few days. I just want to make sure you're all right. I hope you're okay. I haven't seen you in a while. Come talk to me sometime. Red would rather chill with the devil than ask for forgiveness. You're right. Reds has chosen the path of the liar. He's chosen... Look, my camera is completely fucked. Look at this. My camera's got a line right here. I don't know why it's doing that. I might have to restart it. Let me try to restart my camera. I might fix it. Reds is one of the most kind of like sad little people I've ever seen. There's no way around it. And now I've got to turn off the auto. And now it's still there. Oh well. I'll try to fix it tomorrow. Usually I can fix it when it does that. It makes that little line there. Reds is the type of guy who thinks that he can lie and manipulate anybody. You know? Oh, okay, Chimero. I hope you had fun. Oh, we'll help you out. No worries. Ah, I know it does. It makes it look a little vintage. I like it. I do. I think I'm going to add like a tape deck type thing. Steve is a savvy businessman. He figured he wouldn't sign the contract, but he could always sign if the NSS business took off. Exactly, Exiled. And that goes against all the laws of how this all works. So, you know, I know people out there have this theory that whatever their theory is that makes it a 50-50. But I have the direct admission from Kyle and Steve. So no, it wasn't Kyle telling me anything. It was both of them showing me their document of a contract in their DMs and in their email, and both of them telling me why it didn't get signed. Kyle said he was willing to sign it, and Steve said he wasn't and turned down becoming a partner. He can lie all he wants. He's already admitted to that. I've got him in my interview admitting it. I got him on Red's channel admitting it, and I got him on his channel admitting it. And it proves that he turned down partnership on NSS, though then went and filed a lie to that court to try and talk them into giving him some type of control after the fact. And if Kyle had his shit together, he could just walk right in there, slam those video clips down in front of that judge, and the proof that he sent Steve a contract and Steve turned down signing it. And they're not going to give Steve the 50-50 that he thinks he's going to get. He thinks because he has that ruling, he's like ironclad in it. Only until Kyle decides to go show the judge what really happened. And I don't know when or if Kyle will do that, but I have a feeling somebody will. Even if Kyle doesn't do it, I have a feeling somebody's going to file something and send the evidence in, because people are going to think it's not right for someone to willingly choose not to enter into a partnership with someone and then go and sue them later using lies to try to validify it, you know? On Augie's stream, I brought that up to Steve, and he just started screaming and saying, "What do you mean I I had a contract. I didn't have a contract. I had a contract. It was a written agreement. Oh my God, it was a verbal one. Oh, tip of the hat, punch the fist. Whoa, shake my hand. He just started booming out. And that's how you know he's lying. When he gets mad, when he gets caught lying, he booms out. He just booms. He goes boom, boom, pow. And then when you got the fundraiser thing, these motherfuckers think they're going to argue in some way that it's bad for you to assume they stole money from all the other fundraisers. That's just wrong. No, it's wrong after knowing you stole the 10,000 to think you wouldn't have stolen from the other ones that you haven't accounted for. The only way they're going to do that is to account. You can make as many sock accounts that you want to go around typing lies into chats. It's not going to work now that people know what you do and know who you are. Waste your time all you want. Vaughn. Sage, you are a fucking genius. It's just nice knowing that as every day ticks on, they lose another 99% of their power. They've already lost so much, they can't even tell a lie anymore and have it work on anyone. Other than the fakers who are faking that the lie works, like Lie Insane and Prodoxins. Everybody knows Lie Insane and Prodoxins are just little robot sheep. They don't give a fuck what they say. But I want to play some Super Nintendo games on my Switch and lay down and relax for a little bit. I just wanted to come and let you guys know YouTube is a place of sheep, okay? You're going to run into them everywhere you go. They are people that hear a YouTuber, and due to idolization and due to the trust that they want to have and due to wanting to be accepted and wanting to be part of a community, they're going to allow that YouTuber to just say anything, and they're going to believe it, and they're going to back it. That never lasts. That kind of support is temporary and very short. The type of support that lasts for a long time is when you respect people, when you try to give them the evidence and the facts and then your own opinion. Sure, the content isn't exciting and it's not as sensational, but at least it's real. At least it's not using the viewers. At least it's not lying to the viewers. And it's a longer, hard road to make content that respects your viewers by showing them evidence, giving them well-thought criticisms, making their time listening to what you're saying worth it by preparing what you give to them so they're not wasting large amounts of their time listening to you. It's a respect to the viewer, just like accounting in a fundraiser is a respect for the viewer, and not accounting in the fundraiser is showing that you don't respect your viewers at all and you think they're dumb. You think they're dumb enough to believe that you didn't steal more money from other fundraisers after the first one. And they're so stupid that they're going to think it's immoral to think that. It's not going to work. Your old tactics don't work now that you've been exposed as pathological liars. Now, I know just like your viewers have cognitive dissonance, and it'll take time for them to be able to fully believe the extent of what you guys have lied on and tried to do, like with the hostile takeover of non-sec, like with trying to lie and file false fucking shitty-ass court cases against anyone that criticizes you, like going around lying on all your criticizers, like trying to build your impenetrable echo chamber that defends against criticism. These things are visible. People can now track it. They know your tactics. So every time you keep lying, you're just helping me. In fact, you've helped me this whole time by lying every day. You've helped me this whole time by talking shit every day. Because I always told you. What did I tell everybody in this story? I made you a promise. I made you a promise the very first day that I agreed to actually do content. When I kept telling Steve I wouldn't cover the whole story, I told him over and over, remember? When I finally caved and told Steve I'd make the video, I promised everybody one thing. I said that by the time I'm done, the truth of this whole story will be out in front of everybody. Guess what? That's happened. And now that it's out, it can't be undone. Do me a solid, Reds. Do me a solid. Lie hammer, dude. Do me a solid, nerdy fucking geek, dude. Do me a solid, astronomical lies, Prodoxins. Do me a solid. Keep lying. Lie insane. Please keep lolling out. Let us lol. Keep lying. Keep playing your games. it's nothing but sheer entertainment and a massive wealth of content when I finally start up.